Are these pricey f2.8 lenses still worth it, or can today's software make cheaper gear just as good? Let's dive into it on today's episode of
Ask David Bergman.
Hey there everybody, welcome back. Here I am, as always, answering your photography questions right here on Adorama TV. If you've got a photo question, you should know what to do by now. You just go to askdavidbergman.com and fill out the form on the site. I just might pick your question and answer right here on a future show. Today's question comes from Charles F., who wants to know, with today's programs for sharpening, noise removal, and upsizing images, is there still a need for buying expensive, professional series f2.8 lenses? Thanks for sending in that question, Charles. It's a good topic and something that a lot of photographers wonder about, especially as software is getting better and better. So let me break down for you exactly what we're talking about. First, we're going to discuss aperture. Of course, you know that's one of the three key settings that control the exposure of your image, along with shutter speed and ISO. Now, if you do need a refresher on the exposure triangle, I did a 3-part series a couple of years ago covering all this in detail. I'll put links down in the description below so you can check that out. But aperture is simply the opening of your lens that lets light into the camera. And it's measured in f-stops like f2.8, f4, and so on. The smaller the number, the wider the aperture, meaning that more light can enter your camera. So why would you want a wider aperture? Well, first, it's going to help you shoot in low light. Since you've got more light coming through the lens and hitting your sensor, you can capture well-exposed images in darker conditions without having to do things like slowing down your shutter speed or raising your ISO. Those can actually cause motion blur or uncover more digital noise, which you may not want to do. Second, a wide aperture is going to help you to freeze motion. If you're shooting fast action, even outdoors in bright sunlight, things like sports or wildlife, a wide aperture is going to allow you to achieve faster shutter speeds without underexposing your image. This is why lenses with wide apertures are often called fast lenses. And third, wider apertures are going to give you a more shallow depth of field, which is going to help your subject to stand out against a smooth background. Now, sometimes photographers refer to that out of focus quality as bokeh, which is a Japanese word that means blur or haze. Now, let's talk about the physical gear itself. Pro-level lenses like Canon's L series are going to bring some other benefits besides just a wider aperture. And they use high-quality glass and advanced coatings to minimize chromatic aberrations and distortions. And that's going to give you sharper images with better contrast. Those coatings are also going to do things like help reduce lens flare and preserve contrast, especially when you're shooting in challenging lighting conditions like a backlit scene. Pro lenses are also built to withstand tough conditions. They've got weather sealing, and the build quality is made to ensure that they're going to last longer and perform reliably for a long time to come. And that's pretty important if you're shooting in harsh environments. I need gear that can handle whatever I put it through when I'm traveling on the road. Additionally, pro lenses usually have faster and more accurate autofocus systems, which is crucial when you're shooting fast-moving subjects or working in low light conditions. The speed and accuracy of focus can make or break the difference between nailing a shot and missing it. Now, as you can imagine, all of this big glass and all of these wonderful features come with a price. For example, Canon's 24-105 f4 L series lens is about $1,300, while the 2.8 version of that same focal length, 24-105, comes in at $3,000. Now, Canon also makes a non-L series 24-105 with a variable aperture from f4 to 7.1, and that lens costs $400. That's a huge difference. So, can software make up for the differences between these lenses? Well, the answer is, as usual, it depends. A software like Adobe's AI Denoise and Topaz's suite of tools can work wonders, especially when it comes to reducing noise, sharpening images, and even upsizing files for printing. Now, the technology has advanced significantly, even just in the last couple years, and can help you get more out of less expensive gear. So if you're mainly buying f2.8 lenses to keep your ISO low and keep that noise down, you might save some money by investing in a good camera body that handles high ISOs really well, and then just relying on software for noise reduction when you need it. Now, that said, there are certain aspects that software just can't replicate perfectly. I don't know of any software that can truly emulate the natural bokeh produced by a wide aperture lens like a 2.8. Now, while there are programs that are going to blur the background, they're not quite there yet, in my opinion. And don't forget the other advantages of pro lenses like better build quality, weather sealing, and faster autofocus. Those things are really important for working pros and anyone who wants the best possible performance in all conditions. In the end, it really comes down, of course, to your needs and your budget. The gap between expensive, fast lenses and consumer lenses is smaller than ever thanks to advancements in software. For some photographers, the convenience and image quality of a 2.8 Pro lens is worth every penny. For others, especially hobbyists or those just on a tighter budget, software might be the great equalizer. So what do you think? Are you happy with your current lenses, or are you using software to compensate? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, if you have a question like Charles did, head on over to AskDavidBergman.com and fill out the form. If you enjoyed this video, I appreciate you hitting that like button, subscribe to the Adorama YouTube channel, and ring that bell icon to be notified about new videos as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here next time on Ask David Bergman.